After all the excitement and change childbirth brings, your newborn may be sleepy for a while. But soon enough, he'll spend more and more time awake. That's when you're sure to discover that all babies cry.
When his little lip sticks out and little creases in his forehead, I know he's gonna start crying, and it just breaks my heart.
It's sort of like, what am I not doing right? What chapter of the book am I not remembering?
No matter how crying may make you feel, it is a totally normal thing for babies to do. Crying is a big part of your baby's human nature, just like sucking, grasping your finger, and kicking. Just like these parents did, you'll figure out how to respond to your baby's crying, a little bit at a time. Learning about caring for a baby on the job takes some adjusting, especially when you're not getting as much sleep as you're used to. Add the sound of crying to the mix, and you're sure to feel tense sometimes.
I do start to sweat. Like it's more like a forehead sweat.
I start to raise my voice, or like I'll feel myself starting to cry, or I'll start yelling at Mike for no apparent reason.
If you're already clear about how stress affects you, that's great. But a lot of people haven't really given it much thought. Now is a good time to think about how you react to unfamiliar experiences and to lack of sleep. For instance, when you're tense, do you clench your teeth? Do you feel clammy or start to sweat? Maybe you breathe faster or your heart races. You might tighten your hand into a fist, or start to pace, or make other repeated movements. Perhaps your voice gets louder, or you hear yourself using harsh language you don't usually use. Maybe you move faster than usual, or you become clumsy all of a sudden. Some people eat more or less when they're stressed. And some people know they're stressed when they feel sad for a stretch of time. Paying attention to your stress signals will help you know when it's time to take a break or ask for help.
Need some help.
Learning how to ask for and get the help you need is key when you are a new parent. Your baby's healthcare providers are great resources. Don't think twice about calling them with questions. Plan now which family, friends, and other experienced parents you know you'll call when you need a hand, some advice, or time to yourself.
Sometimes you go right underneath his chin a little bit.
If you are wondering exactly how much crying to expect in the weeks ahead, here's the general pattern babies follow. Between birth and 2 weeks, babies cry less than they will later on. Then, as they recover from the work of being born, they tend to crank it up, reaching their peak in time spent crying between 6 and 8 weeks of age. After 6 to 8 weeks, crying usually goes back down to the level it was just after birth and stays about the same until your baby can communicate like this 4-month-old. Of course, every baby is unique. Some cry more than others. But once in a while, all babies will keep on crying, no matter what their parents try to soothe them.
I have to keep reminding myself that when he's crying like that, it's not about me. It's more about what he's doing or feeling or going on inside of him and not about me. I have to remember that because sometimes it feels personal.
That's when it's good to remind yourself that unsoothable crying is not your fault. And it's not related to your caregiving either.
It's okay, sweetie. It's all right, honey bun.
Still, it's normal to feel frustrated when you have a long period of crying.
Especially when you don't know what's bugging him, it is really frustrating, and you wish you could just do whatever it is that'll make him calm down.
I can totally see why somebody would just want their baby to stop, and they would just pick them up and go, oh, come on, do this for me. not realizing that they're doing harm to their baby.
A tired, frustrated parent might think that the motion of shaking could be something to try. It's not. At birth, your baby's brain is still in the early stages of its development. Shaking would cause the soft brain tissue to hit up against the much harder bone of the outer head, and permanent brain damage and disability could easily follow. Also, because a baby's neck is not very strong, you always want to support it, like this, when you hold her. Slow, supported, and gentle motion is what is safe for babies. Never shake your baby. Instead, try all the comfort strategies you'll see demonstrated. Then, if your baby has been fed and still continues to cry, until you're too tired or frustrated to keep trying to soothe him, that's when it's a good idea to place your infant in his crib or other safe place and step away from the sound of the crying. Your first weeks at home with your newborn will be an exciting and demanding time of growth and change. And crying is just one part of infant development. As your baby begins to sleep more, as she feels more comfortable in the world, she will cry less and less. And you'll feel the rewards for all your patience and love every time he smiles.
So all the input that you put into the child for those first few weeks comes right back in almost an instant the first time that you see them smile at you. You're like, oh, of course. Well, this is why people do this. It only takes that first smile to figure that out.
And sure enough, all babies smile.